Welcome to Crazy Town. If you've been following the news, you know that Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they're in a breakup right now. They're not friends. There's some issues happening, and I I thought I would take a little bit of time in between clients today to do this video, and I have to be very careful about how long I spend with you guys because I do have a client coming up soon, but this is some juicy astrology. So let's discuss, okay? Did a video on Donald Trump's chart and his change of circumstances. And I posted this video a couple of months ago. I'm going to link it in the description box and at the end of this video so that you guys can check it out because it is in that video that I did more of a deep dive into his new cycles with zodiacal releasing, and I kind of covered all of his cycles. I looked at everything and I talked about how the tide was turning for him energetically and how he is no longer going to be favored. And there is something coming up for him, in particular in the month of June, that would be very, very difficult for him. And lo and behold, here we are now on in the month of June, and the astrology is right on time. It is not surprising. Uh, we have two birth charts that we're going to look at. Donald Trump's is the only one that is verified with the birth time being accurate. We are very limited with Elon Musk. However, I did my prep work here, and I will tell you that I have enough information with Elon Musk's cycles, particularly his solar arcs. Ooh, very interesting what's coming up between these two guys. And I'm going to put the charts up and we're going to have a little bit of a chit chat. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. If I allow comments in this video, that is only because you guys are keeping them respectful and you're keeping them to the astrology. If there are going to be any nasty, cruel, divisive, hurtful, politically charged comments that just add to the crazy townness, I will be disabling comments on this video. And I don't want to do that because I want you guys to be able to comment and have discussions about the astrology. And hopefully that's what's going to happen. So let me share my chart. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know who I am, hello there, welcome. My name is Marie DeSimone. I am a professional astrologer. You can find out more about me and my work over at insightfulastrology.com, where I offer personal consultations and I have an entire astrology school teaching classes from the beginner's level through advanced. Let's look at the charts here. So I'm going to go back and forth between a few different charts that I have. So right now you should be looking at Donald Trump's birth chart. And I'm going to say this is being triggered with the astrology that is happening right now in a very significant way. So the highlights of stress right now in Trump's chart is the fact that we see that he has Mars in Leo and a Mars on the ascendant. His ascendant is 29 degrees of Leo. Mars is there at just under 27 degrees, right? Well, in the sky right now, Mars is in late degree Leo. And this is one of the things that I talked about in that other video about, this is the time in June where things were going to get triggered. And in fact, on the 5th, Mars reached 23 degrees of Leo. You can see that we're getting really close to that exact Mars return in conjunction. But what it did do is square his midheaven, his career sector, public image, reputation. And that is happening right now as we speak. And what is further amplifying this is that Uranus is at about 28.5 degrees of Taurus. So transiting Uranus is up here, 28.5 degrees. Okay, so follow me, guys. Try to follow this because I can't draw very well, and I'm trying to make this point very quickly. Look at his ascendant degree. That's him, right? That is him. Uranus is square the ascendant. You see the map there? Yes, everybody follows. Good. Transiting Mars is in Leo, and it is getting really close to his natal Mars, and it will also cross his ascendant. And what is transiting Mars in Leo simultaneously doing in the sky when all this is going down? Mars in Leo is coming up to make a square to Uranus in Taurus. And this is an aspect that we're all going to feel. This is happening in the sky, not in his birth chart. What this aspect, this transit in the sky is doing is triggering his birth chart. It is waking it up. And so we've got Mars square Uranus, and that aspect is peaking June 14th into the 15th of now. Okay, coming right up. And no bueno. This is not good. This creates energy of volatility, of anger, of sudden violence, of sudden chaos, sudden reversals. And so we can see that this is the main pattern that is responsible for all of the chaotic situations that are unfolding now, especially in what seems to be this, very strange reversal where Trump and Musk were just bros. They were BFFs. And now they're at some kind of a war. It is not pretty, right? And interestingly enough, on June 11th, we are having a full moon in Sagittarius that is close to the degree of his natal moon. He was born under a full moon in Sagittarius, and it was an eclipse. So the full moon that will be occurring on June 11th, just in a few days, is also triggering the emotional chaos that is occurring right now in Trump's life and with his public image and with what is going on here. And so this is likely to continue to devolve. That is the consensus here. That's the analysis that just makes the most sense, because all of these aspects that I'm talking to you about are not even exact yet. They're still building. And in astrology, it is the building, the applying aspects that are the most powerful. And so between now and June 15th, we are going to see a very fast and significant devolvement. Is that the right word? I can't think of a better word right now. I think you know what I'm talking about. This is not good for Trump. What also is happening, and I really spoke about this in depth in my other video. I'm going to try to bring this up though to show you guys really quick. When we look at Trump's zodiacal releasing, and we see that the chapters of his life have recently changed. And people think, all right, you're going into a new level period. And oh, wait, it's a peak period. So people think, well, that must be good. No, honeys. No, 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 no. Peak periods are not good or bad. You have to look at the birth chart to determine the flavor, the tone of a particular peak period. And I did an entire video explaining to you guys that this new level 1 period that he entered on April 20th of 2025 is not good. It is going to be very challenging for him. And the beginning of it in particular will be very, very challenging, because look on level 2. So until November 11th, he's in a level 2 Leo period as well. So we've got level 1 and level 2. And look at level 3. Until June 6th, which is today, the day of the video, he's even in a level 3 Leo period. And if we look at the days here on level 4, you can see that on June 3rd, it's Aquarius. He's in an Aquarius period. So again, this is all fixed and this is all difficult for him. And I'm going to go back to the chart and show you why this is all difficult for him. And you see an L there. There was a loosening of the bond on June 3rd. And he is now today is June 6th. So today he enters a new level 4 period and a new level 3 period. But June 5th, the day that, shit really hit the fan between him and Musk, you can see that it was across the board. He was in fixed periods, and that Leo Aquarius fixed axis is not his friend. Why is it not his friend? Let me show you really quickly. Let me first clear this screen here. We're going to go back to his chart so that you can understand why this is not good for Trump and furthermore, why it's being triggered right now. So look at his malefics. You see he's got the difficult planets here, Mars in Leo. He just entered a Leo period. So Mars is being activated. That is not good for him. That is going to bring difficulty for him. And that is, in fact, what is transpiring. And the timing of under the zodiacal releasing is just remarkable because it really showed down to the zodiacal releasing level 4 days that between June 3rd and June 5th, something would happen, right? Hopefully that's communicated and you guys can see that. Zodiacal releasing doesn't always work out so perfectly in that way, but it did in this case. It did, and it was quite compelling. And so, again, the major takeaway is that with all of this difficult astrology and that full moon on the 11th that's happening against his chart and that Mars transit, it's going to go from bad to worse. And Trump is not favored here. He is not favored. Let's look at Musk's chart and see if he's favored, if there's something nice going on for him. And so, hang on, I have to do this a couple of times to get his chart up here so that you guys can see it. So I'm going to share one more time. And hopefully, this is Musk's chart. Yes, good. Okay, perfect. So here is Musk's chart. This is a level B rated chart, which means we cannot trust the birth time. So I want you to take this chart with a big grain of salt as far as the houses go, the ascendant and the degree of the moon. We don't know his birth time. What we do know is that he has Mars in Aquarius. And we do know that transiting Mars is currently opposite his natal Mars. And he's got Jupiter at 27 and a half degrees of Scorpio. And so transiting Uranus is opposite Jupiter. And there are triggers in Musk's chart that are also indicating some sudden changes here with his energy. But is this as difficult or dangerous for Musk as it is for Trump? The answer is no, because Uranus opposite Jupiter is sudden luck, sudden windfalls, sudden changes in terms of, your lucky break kind of an energy. And so that is happening. In addition, we've got Mars being activated, waking this transit up. And look at his sun sign. Look at his Venus and his sun. So he's in a Jupiter cycle that's going to be getting better because he just finished Jupiter conjunct his Venus, and Jupiter is about to go into Cancer on the 9th of this month, June 9th. And so he is going to have Jupiter conjunct his sun, which will be protective, which will be positive energy for him. He is also having a phenomenal solar arc pattern, and I can't show it to you here on the software. So I'm just going to read this to you. It peaks on July 1st, this solar arc direction, and it is Uranus equals Saturn. And what happens when Uranus and Saturn connect by solar arc direction? Well, it is really about separation. It is about exciting the status quo into new development, a jolt to consider freedom. He is breaking away from Trump, and he is doing it quickly, and he is not looking back. This is over. This is a permanent breakup, especially with that full moon. A breakup happening under a full moon or a lunar eclipse, it's permanent. You're not making up. You're not going back. You're not getting back with the ex. This is going to become permanent, I believe, for sure. And he also has another solar arc that is super successful. And this leads me to believe that he is going to come out on top. No matter how this shakes down, no matter what goes on, he's going to be okay because he's got solar arc, Sun equals Jupiter, which is peaking August 14th of this year. So he is certainly under the vibration of that. And that is recognition, success, feeling great. He is on top of the world about his decision and whatever's going on. I mean, look, he's got more money than I think the whole world. So he doesn't need anybody. He doesn't need uh he doesn't have to kiss anybody's ass. That's for sure. And he's not having it. So we don't know the details of what really has been going on behind closed doors with these guys. But let me tell you, the astrology is kind of showing that Musk is on top. Musk is doing well. Now, I want to add a little bit something else into the mix here. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I do want to bring this to your attention. We're going to look at JD Vance's chart because he's also being triggered by this current pattern. And I'm not so sure how this is going to work out, but it looks pretty stressful here as well. Because if you look at his chart, which is an A chart, meaning the time is accurate, we've got the same Leo rising. He's got Venus, not Mars, on the ascendant. And so we have 20, just under 28 degrees Leo rising, 23 degrees of Venus. That midheaven is 22 Taurus. So he's also got Mars in Scorpio at 22 and a half. So what this means is that Mars right now is also triggering Vance's chart, and Uranus is also square his ascendant. Okay, so we have transiting Uranus that is also square his ascendant. And we've got Mars triggering this, coming to his Venus. And Venus rules his career sector. And Mars is going to go on his ascendant, squaring that square to Uranus, which peaks again right around the 14th and the 15th of this month. And he's also got Mars square his natal Mars, which is difficult, combative energy. Uranus rules his partnership sector. I believe there's something going on between Vance and Trump right now. I believe they might be fighting as well. And I don't know how involved Vance is with Musk, but the three of them, I feel like, are in some kind of argument that is not very positive. And the only person whose chart looks like it has help and support at this moment in time is Musk. So this is going to be interesting to watch, guys. Let me know your thoughts about the astrology. Remember, keep your comments to the astrology. I don't want political opinions in this post. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, this presentation, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.